Cool. New on SportsCenter, James Harden warming up moments ago, getting ready for his second game tonight with the Nets. They faced the Bucks. Harden had 32 points, 12 rebounds, 14 dimes, a triple-double in his Brooklyn debut, which was a win on Saturday. Kevin Durant, by the way, had 42 points. Kyrie Irving will miss his seventh straight game tonight since he left the team for personal reasons almost 2 weeks ago. So there is James Harden getting ready to host the Bucks tonight. Tim Legler joining us now with a much more. While we wait for the Nets' big three, where did Harden make his biggest impact in his Brooklyn debut on Saturday night?
It's playmaking. And when you look at the pairing of Harden with Kevin Durant for now and eventually Kyrie Irving, one of those three guys is going to have to take the playmaking role pretty seriously and facilitate shots for other people. And I thought that's what James Harden did very well in his debut. You know, this is a guy, he's always going to be able to get buckets, and he understands he can score in big spurts in a short period of time. So I think the important thing for him is to read defenses, make sure other guys feel involved and empowered, because you're going to end up with guys that are going to feel like they're just watching the action in terms of their supporting cast. And as great as Harden and KD and Kyrie Irving are offensively, that's not going to be enough to accomplish their goals, and they think they can win a championship. You're going to need the supporting cast to be in a rhythm and a flow and to make shots, to take pressure off of those guys. So that means that ball's got to move at the right time. And I thought James Harden did a great job of that in the first game. And I think you're going to see him take more of that responsibility than the other two. Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, more voracious type scorers. James Harden, a guy that has played point guard for the last several years, and he's a guy that I think can get shots for other people. So I was impressed with his approach.
He certainly is no doubt motivated with all that conversation with Houston, now with a new team here. Let's go to the West Coast. The Lakers, they enter tonight's game against the Warriors with the best record in the league. They're 11-3, and they're doing it while LeBron is averaging less than 32 minutes a game. Why does this bode well for the defending champs moving forward?
Well, it's all about what happens at the end of the year. That's all they care about with this team. And look, LeBron honestly could probably be averaging 27, 28 minutes a game, and they would have the exact same record because they've been that dominant at times. They're so deep. They're so good defensively. There are nights now LeBron James can even pace himself in the 32 minutes he plays because they have so many different ways to attack you offensively. But at the end of the day, with a guy this deep into his career with this many postseason runs under his belt, you're just trying to preserve him. He defies a lot of things that we see logically guys do at this age, obviously. But at some point, he's going to start to feel that attrition. So if you can preserve him in the regular season and really save him for those 2 months that matter most, that's what they're going to be able to do with this particular group. This is by far the deepest team in the NBA, particularly in ways that you can attack people offensively.
When have we ever said that about a LeBron team being deep here from top to bottom? And by the way, the career low in minutes per game, still averaging 24 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists per game this season. Legs, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Well, back. Meanwhile, the Nets and the Bucks highlighting the NBA slate on this MLK Day. Giannis and the Bucks have won 7 of their last 8, scoring nearly 118 points a game since the calendar flipped to 2021. They're one of only 4 teams to score 100 points in every game this season. And what can James Harden and KD do for an encore after their first game as teammates in over 8 years? Well, Saturday, Durant had a season-high 42. Harden became the first player in NBA history with a 30-point triple-double in his team debut. And Kyrie Irving will sit out his 7th straight game tonight, according to Adrian Wojnarowski, after leaving the Nets for personal reasons almost 2 weeks ago. Woj reports that Kyrie is trying to ramp up his conditioning before returning to game action. As Malika Andrews joins us now live from the Barclays Center with more. Malika, Kyrie, as we noted, he's already missed 7 games, and it's also worth noting he has forfeited more than $800,000 in salary for violating COVID protocols. When is he expected to rejoin the team?
Well, the hope, Steve Nash just said a couple of minutes ago, is that he is going to be able to rejoin the team in Cleveland on Wednesday, Hannah. Now, remember, the league allows for players who have been in quarantine, like Kyrie Irving was when he was found to have violated those health and safety protocols, to take a couple of days to get their legs back underneath them. Take a listen to what Steve Nash said about that with Kyrie Irving.
I think he just wanted him to ramp up accordingly to protect him from unnecessary injuries. So I think he got some work yesterday, possibly today. He'll get some work tomorrow, and then we'll go to Cleveland, and hopefully he'll be available on Wednesday night. What you want to see is just him to get some time, like you said, in his legs, so that he's more able to adapt back to playing. It's if you haven't played, there's no way you can simulate it. So I think it's important that he gets a little bit extra work and is as prepared as possible to play Wednesday.
So this is a team that doesn't practice a whole lot because of their schedule. They have been playing games almost every other day consistently, but tomorrow they do have that window. They do have a practice on their schedule. What Steve Nash said is that they want to get Kyrie Irving in with their, quote, stay ready group. They don't want to run their stars a little bit too much. So even though he's expected to practice tomorrow, it probably won't be a full court press with James Harden and Kevin Durant. That won't come until he's actually playing in a game, Hannah.
And interesting that he could come back against his former team at Cleveland. All right, let's talk about these former teammates that you just mentioned, and it's a very small sample size, but Harden and Durant did combine for 70-plus points in their win over the Magic in their first game back together on Saturday. What is their focus tonight as they face a tougher opponent in Milwaukee?
Well, of course, they're looking at what it could be that they could improve. So while folks around the team are excited to see their point production, what James Harden and Kevin Durant were talking about immediately after the game is that they combined for 15 of the team's total 19 turnovers. Kevin Durant said that he's going to actually need to talk to his new teammate, about how they can improve on that end. Steve Nash joked that James Harden almost had a quadruple double because he had 9 of those combined 15 turnovers. But James Harden said that he's not worried about it. He was really focused in on his passing last game. He said it's going to come with time. It's going to come with chemistry. It's going to come with better reads, and that will happen as they're out on the court a little bit more together, Hannah.
And expectations even higher now for this team that hasn't advanced past the first round of the playoffs since 2014. Very interesting times there for the new head coach, Steve Nash. Thanks, Malika.
More SportsCenter headlines. This Monday, 2 head coach openings left in the NFL. Bucs defensive coordinator Todd Bowles is currently interviewing with the Eagles, sources telling Jeremy Fowler. And Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy is interviewing with the Texans as we speak, sources telling Adam Schefter. Bucs head coach Bruce Arians acknowledging that Antonio Brown had an MRI on his knee today. This coming after yesterday's win. The results of that MRI have not been made public yet. Browns played just 27 snaps, finishing with 1 catch in the W over the Saints last night. Tennessee has fired football coach Jeremy Pruitt for cause after an internal investigation revealed serious violations of NCAA rules, sources telling Chris Lowe and Mark Schlabach. Also, Hall of Fame coach Phil Fulmer will retire after taking over the athletic department for more than 3 years. No surprise here, Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields declared for the NFL draft today. ESPN's Mel Kiper Jr. ranks Fields as the 3rd overall prospect for the 2021 draft. In a bit of a surprise in Columbus, Buckeyes receiver Chris Olave, Fields' favorite target, will remain in college and return to Ohio State next season.